Hi, hello there, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to the most amazing start to a payroll year ever. That's right. This is about payroll. Do you have a small business? Do you have a more than a small business? Are you sick of paying your payroll provider a ton of money, like hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, to just do stuff that can really be done by a robot now? Well, taking advantage of programming solutions to handle your payroll can give you the confidence to keep track of the numbers and the information yourself. And I've built a program, like a really huge, big functioning program that has all kinds of things and formulas for all 50 states, except it's not all done yet for 2021. Look at how many formulas. Look at how many states. Look at all this craziness, right? We're up to column like IH or something when it comes to formulas. A lot of work in here, a lot of states. But the beauty of this is that once it's done, it's going to work for everybody. And so I've started to go through 2021. 2021 is going to be the biggest year ever. You're going to be able to get one of these files to work for your business and do amazing things. And so I started looking for 2021 tax rates for different states. We're going to get through all these. It's December 8th, and we've got to finish this before the end of the year because you guys need a paycheck. Your employees need a paycheck when it comes to 2021. So we've got to get it done. Well, guess what? Hey, Arkansas, you know what? You're not number one. Maybe somebody else already announced their rates before you, but you announced your rates. Good for you. And so we're going to talk about Arkansas tax rates today. And if you have a business in Arkansas, say you run a farm in Arkansas, you just got a few employees, you want to pay them. It's fine. Maybe you're an agricultural employer, like maybe you file Form 943. Well, this thing's going to be functioning in this payroll file too. We're going to have all these forms that you can just print out and fill out automatically. So let's run through Arkansas tax rates for those who want to learn how to calculate Arkansas tax rates. They're actually a little bit annoying. The formula's a little bit long. There's a lot of different levels. So I'll tell you about that and also what you need to fill out. And we're going to do it really, really fast. So if you have employees, let's say you have 10 employees and they have fun names like they're on a farm, fertilizer. That's right. Well, these employees are going to have information like their social security number, which you could put in full here or not. I recommend not saving social security numbers in here, just having them on a piece of paper somewhere else because this way you don't have to worry about the integrity of this file so much if you don't have socials in here. Or you can just put the last four digits because a lot of times that's all that's required on the pay stub or something. So did the person fill out a W-4 for this year? In 2020 or 2021? And that's a question about the new W-4. And I did a whole video last year in 2020 or earlier this year, about the brand new changes to the W-4. I'm just going to direct you to that. We're not going to have a big discussion about the W-4 here. But hopefully you get your employees on a more current W-4 and the answer to this question is yes. And when the answer to that question is yes, you're going to take the information from that W-4 and you're going to put it over here. What their status was, did they check the box? There's a question about checking a box on a form. Now, this may change in 2021, so there'll be a video about the 2021 federal rates when they are finalized and they release what's called the Publication 15 and the 15T, which are not final yet, so we can't do that yet. But we can do Arkansas, so let's keep going with Arkansas. So you fill out your W-4. Is the person married? Yes or no? And then you choose your state. The state is, actually, we're going to do this. Oh, no, we're not. I just realized you can't choose the state from the drop-down menu. I need to fix this in this file because I've been working on it. But the state is Arkansas. And Arkansas taxes the first $10,000 in unemployment of wages towards unemployment. So there'll be some type of rate here that Arkansas will assign you, and that's where you put that. And then there's links about the Arkansas Form AREC, which is this thing where you have your employees fill this thing out. They're just going to be like claiming themselves or their spouse. They're going to have a number of 2 plus their dependents. The number is going to be like 1, 2, or 3 or 0. It's going to be like 1, 2, or 3 or 0 or something. I don't think it's 0 oftentimes. Don't worry about this difference down here about changing their withholding rates based on the low income. It's very, very small potatoes, and the changes are not all that drastic, and they only hit a really small sliver of income. I wouldn't even worry about this. I don't even know who uses this. That seems like a waste. So this part's pretty easy, and you put that number right here next to the state allowance number. Just going to choose whatever that number is and put it there. Then you put in things like, if you want to do more stuff like their employee's address or whatever, 123 Road in Little Rock, right? Whatever it is. So, and you have hours for sick hours, you have employee hire dates, all these things. So when you fill out all your employee information, you're done with locking in your employees' fixed information about their withholdings, about their address and stuff like that. You then go to the daily entry sheet where you have ways of putting in hours for people. So we're saying this person worked some hours here, Johnny Appleseed. Once you've put in their hours, you can choose different employees. Jenny Straw could have worked, this same week or whatever, 8 days or whatever, and could have had 8 hours every day of just regular hours. Easy stuff. Depending on how you enter in your hours for people and how complex they are, it can change. But once you do stuff like that, you then just go over to the pay period record sheet. And this is where we're going to get to talking about Arkansas's rates and how it's calculated and what kind of paycheck you're going to have for your employees and how to lock it in for the whole year and have all your reports be automated. So we're working in one pay period. This pay period happens to be, let's call it December 12th, like right around now at the end of 2020, because we're in a 2020 file, even though we're talking about 2021 for Arkansas. So it's still 2020, but we're putting in 2021's Arkansas rates in here because they did change. So here you have your employee list, your 10 employees. And this week ending, because this is a weekly paycheck in this version, but the versions can change. Whether your pay period is, so you change the pay period in the matrix. If you're not a weekly payer, but you are bi-weekly, it's 26, and the whole file is going to change. Everything's going to change automatically, and all of a sudden, your pay periods just changed because we just flipped everything and turned this into a bi-weekly from a weekly. It's that easy. It's really, really crazy. So let's go back to a weekly payer, though. So during this pay period ending, December 12th, Johnny Appleseed had some hours here. Ended up having 47 hours. There's a red spot here. Something's wrong. We didn't enter an hourly rate for this person. Let's say that they are getting $15 an hour for whatever they're doing. Maybe they got a $150 bonus for something. Maybe they had child support reimbursement that they had to have garnished out. All kinds of weird stuff can happen. Maybe the bonus, whatever. So there's all these different things. There's all different types of deductions. We don't have to get into all this crazy stuff. So you've now generated some gross pay for this person because you've got hours and you've got a rate, right? Well, what do you do to figure out Arkansas tax? You do Control F. We look for Arkansas, and it's going to bring us right to the Arkansas section. Bam. And here we are. So what goes on with Arkansas rates is you figure out what the wages were for the pay period, the federal taxable gross, which ended up being $877.50 because it ends up being those hours, the 47 hours or whatever times the $15 plus the bonus. We go back to Arkansas and we see that you then have to annualize that number. So there's 52 pay periods in the year, like I was just mentioning. There's 52 pay periods in the year. So you have to take pay periods, which we've called a name range in this formula, meaning the pay periods is this cell right here. Is this 52? That's what that word means in this formula, pay periods word. You're going to times that by the federal taxable gross for that was just shown. And then you got to subtract out $2,200 for a standard deduction that everybody gets. And you get an annual net taxable income, from Arkansas that becomes taxable. Then you're going to apply a really long formula to it. And the formula is listed here. And I got to give Arkansas credit. They've got a 3-page answer to how to do taxes in the state of Arkansas. I'll give them that. I was able to do it in like an hour. They have this huge table here that does have a lot of different rates, and something weird happens around $82,000. Apparently, you're not a real human being if you don't make at least $82,000 a year in Arkansas, because then you get this weird 5.9% and reducing credit or whatever. So what you do is you have to take this formula, you have to put this formula into Excel to apply it to this amount. And the way you do that is you do a nested if you want to just jam it all in one cell, is you do this big crazy nested if formula, and it layers out all the income levels. It just says if something's less than $4,699, you don't pay any tax on it. If it's less than 9,000, you do this. And what that's doing is it's converting this thing to, if it's less than this, then, like say the taxable amount's $80,000, which is less than 82, then you're going to take 5.9% of, say it was $80,000, 5.9% times $80,000, and then subtract out $774.20. And you're supposed to round things to $50 ranges. This is small potato stuff too, and I wouldn't worry about it because you're going to be so close anyway. Like, this is annoying. You're supposed to round the annual wages to $50. I didn't do it because I don't think it's that important. I don't know. If somebody can convince me otherwise, I'll do that formula, but that's an annoying formula. So I didn't do that anyway. We're just putting this nested if formula in here. We're saying, all right, well, that means that according to this formula, then you had to have $1,788 of annual tax if you made $43,430 and you were under this filing status, which is married, filing jointly with 2 Arizona state allowances. Now, there's another step though. There's a third step, which is you have to remove out this $29 per exemption that is listed. That is right here. Our Arizona exemption amount is $29 for 2021. And you have to then subtract that out. That's what this formula is you take the exemptions times $29, subtract it out of this, and then divide this by the number of pay periods in the year, being 52, to figure out exactly how much tax is supposed to be withheld for the week, not just for the year. If you didn't do this pay periods part and just said divide by 1, instead you see that this would be way too high because this is one paycheck. You don't want to do one paycheck. You don't want to do the whole year in one paycheck. You want to do one paycheck in one paycheck. So that's what that does. And that is how you calculate Arizona state tax. And it shows up on a pay stub like this. And you can see it'd be $33 for this $877.50 paycheck. And in the subsequent week, subsequent weeks all the way down here, 12/19, they didn't have any pay for that period. Oh yeah, they had one for the earlier pay period, right? 12/5. No, I guess Johnny Appleseed didn't. What about Jenny Straw? Jenny Straw, $600, and she pays $19. So, in 12 minutes is a little longer than I thought. And you also have, by the way, you have reports for your 941 for the quarter or for the year for unemployment. We're working on the 941 for the quarter. I'm doing that. Schedule B, if you're a larger employer and you have to populate this thing every period about when you made your deposits because you make them semi-weekly. If you're doing agriculture stuff, we got a 943 coming. This thing is going to be the most incredible payroll Excel file for the United States ever. That's just true. It's just going to be. So we're going to get it done. That was Arkansas. Enjoy. And watch for videos because I have to do 51, right? I mean, there's D.C. on top. There's a District of Columbia. Maybe I did the Virgin Islands too. Maybe I'll do Puerto Rico, Guam. Watch out. If there's anything there, I'm going to do it. And we're going to get it all in there. So happy payrolling, everybody. Remember, payroll should be easy. So take advantage of artificial intelligence and formulas and algorithms and stuff and just make it so.